Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. If someone commits suicide here or another one commits suicide here, they both committed suicide, okay? We're not going to consider this one as, I don't know, he baked a cake and the other one played some soccer. Or this one baked a cake and the other one committed suicide. No, they both committed suicide. Regardless if we like the individuals, we don't like the individuals, the act kind of is the same. In this case, I'm going to read you an article with a very interesting title. And if this title, or if this situation, this suicidal action, would have occurred in Russia, and you substitute Putin with Zelensky, or in this case Zelensky with Putin, you would have a different headline. Look over here. Zelensky makes a series of dismissals in security services of Ukraine top management. Ukrainska Pravda, today, March of 6th of March. Now, what do you think this article will say? I didn't read it. I suspect that it's going to tell us that Zelensky is going to do some movement because he needs fresh stuff, rotating the officers and whomever, blah, 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 okay? The team. That's what he's going to probably say. Now, if this would have happened in Russia and Putin would have then done that, I think the article would be like this. Putin is afraid that he's going to be overthrown. The Russian government is in big doo-doo, and he needs to make sure that he doesn't trust anybody. That's why he has to rotate them or get rid of them, or something is going wrong. This would be the title. This weasel is doing it? No, he's doing it because he's strengthening the security. Yeah. He did this before, about a few weeks ago. That tells me something is definitely wrong, even if it was Putin or it was Michael Jackson or Tom Jones, the same thing. Why? Because you don't do this in the middle of a war unless something big occurs over there. Why? For the simple rule, if things go okay, you don't change anything, right? If the looting goes well, you don't change any parameter, no variables, leave them be. Now, if things start then you start tweaking to make it run well. That means something is not okay if this is the second round of bam, 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 bam in the Zelensky regime. So let's see what these weasels are telling us about Zelensky's intelligence here. I'm suspecting that Zelensky has a problem with the military and he's just preparing his defense somehow with the security services against the military. But that's just a gut feeling. Yes, I'm very serious and I'm that general. Yeah. Look, why are you trimmed? Why are you trimmed, boy? Why are you trimmed? That hair is washed. You look pretty good, for a guy who supposedly is at war and doesn't change his clothes because he feels for the Ukrainian people. Shut the fuck up. Anyway, Volodymyr Zelensky has dismissed Alexander Yukushev, deputy head of the Security Service of Ukraine. Security Service, the head. All right? I don't know if this is like a FBI. Is that what it is? Or NSA? What is it? Two heads of departments of the Secret Service and heads of the SSU in two oblasts. Okay. So, Zelensky's decree is on the presidential website. In particular, Ihor Nosok, head of the SSU Department of State Secrets Protection and Licensing, and Alexander Provotorov, head of the SSU Department of Economic Support, were dismissed. Are they still alive? Olev Kramov has been appointed to replace Nosok. Zelensky, are these guys that are approved by the United States of America? This is the new echelon, the ones that were educated in the West. Because that's the way it goes usually in Romania and other countries like Georgia. Zelensky also removed Boris. Man, how many Borises? Boris Becker, Boris Johnson, Boris Yeltsin, Jesus Christ. Berzruki from the office of head office of the SSU in Zaporozhye Oblast, and Eduard Fedorov from the office of head of the SSU in Sumy Oblast. What's going on here? Another person has been appointed to replace Fedorov. Oleg Krasnoshapka became the head of the head. Became the new head of SSU in Sumy Oblast. Head. I got it. I mean, you're good. On February 7th, Verkhovna Rada approved the appointment of Vasil Malyuk to the post of head of the security services of Ukraine. February 7th, and now we're a month after that, and here we have another little head of security services here. In July 2022, Verkhovna Rada voted to dismiss SSU head Ivan Bakanov. So July, February, and March, isn't that strange? What do you think, my friends? It's just because he doesn't like them. They didn't put out. Is that how it is? I learned that word. It's put out or put up. I think it's put out. I learned that word in that very, very high intelligence movie called Idiocracy. So you can imagine. I was like, what the hell is that? Oh, I got what it is. So anyway, maybe they didn't do it. So remember, did you hear any justifications? I didn't read any justification over there. Like they were removed because of why? You don't remove them just because. You have to give a reason, right? Why were they removed? Is that the purge again? Remember in Stalin, the Georgian, Stalin's time in the Soviet Union, not Russia, Soviet Union, in the time of the Georgian Stalin with his Kaganovich as the security services head, they did a lot of purges. And the purges, yeah, other purges, no, not purges. So they did a lot of purges, many purges, a lot of them. So when they did that, do you think that Stalin knew each and every person that was taken to the Gulag, or they were killed, bam, outside or Lubyanka, and NKVD's office in the basement? Do you think he knew? No, he said, whomever is against the Soviet people or Soviet Union or the threat to the communism, it's considered a traitor. Punishment, life in labor, hard labor, not giving birth labor, but labor in the gulags, or eliminated. That's it, with or without a trial. As Kaganovich told him, he said, show me the person, I find you the crime. So yeah, Tom Jones, are you guilty of rape? Right there, boom. No, they can find whatever they want. So same here. And what do you think Stalin did it? No, he passed that. He was making that decree. The decree was passed, and then you have the forces that are gonna enforce that. And then enforcers, do you think it's gonna be Kaganovich? Kaganovich is gonna know about 5 people that he's afraid of, and those guys will be arrested by his orders because they, based on the decree that Stalin wrote, signed. He's going to send his buddies over there. Those guys will be arrested, taken to Gulag, and nobody will hear about them ever again. And then like Kaganovich, his subordinates will do the same thing with his people that they didn't like, and the ones below them will be the people they didn't like, and so on. And then people will tell on people, and people will say, I'm going to report you for this and that. And they were lying, and everybody was separated from everybody. You couldn't have a friend because you didn't want the friend or the neighbor to know anything that happened in your house. Everything was fake. So that's what happens with the purges. What happened? He was a traitor. What did he do? Well, he was, the same. What happened with those guys? It's not that I'm waiting for them to tell me. They can tell me whatever. They can tell me there's a Gigi, was not. He can say corruption because that shows that he is fighting corruption. That's why the idiots in the West say, see, he's fighting corruption. He said it. Look, they got arrested, or they arrest a few guys. Yeah, okay. So naive. These guys are naive, willingly, and just because they are. It's so dumb, man. It's so, you can't believe how credulous they are. Yeah, and I know those guys, how they think, how, not them per se. I come from the same area, so I kind of know the culture, how it works, and I know how they fooled the European Union, and the NATO guys were coming around. They're all, yeah, oh, come over here, come over here, come over here, and behind everything was rotten. And they was, yeah, the reforms worked, yes. Why? They show the reforms on paper. They made, with the mass media, communiques, and all that, arrest. Oh, it's a fight against corruption. It was no fight against corruption. It was a payback, a war between the gangs, the political gangs that were formed. That was all. I'm going to eliminate you because right now I have free hand from the European Union to combat corruption. And you're corrupt. I say that. And then they arrest a few guys and everybody was like, good job, yeah, Romania fights corruption. But you didn't know who those guys were and didn't even bother to send people to verify who the guys were. They were just the enemies of these guys. So do you think things are different here? Why? Because they're Ukrainians? If Ukrainians would have been the way they say they are, I think their economy would have been stellar before this. And I think you wouldn't have oligarchs over there, and you wouldn't have corruption, you wouldn't have many things. But the fact that they have that tells me that their society made by Ukrainians, that was the outcome of their possibility. That's what they can do. They did. I mean, don't tell me it was the Russians destroying the Ukrainians' economy since 1991 until now, 2021. Where's that economy? What did they do with their lives? That's the reality. Look, the numbers are there. Per capita, they have, I think, $2,000 or $3,000 or something per capita. If you get gross domestic GDP, gross domestic product, and divide that, is like $4,000 per year per person. And you tell me, oh, it's not corruption, and it's because of Russians again? Isn't maybe something that doesn't work over there since 1991? Go and verify and see how their economy went. Like that? No. Just like that. You don't believe me? Check it out. I made an article, a video with that, and I compared that United States with Russia and see how Russia did until the dictator. Go and check it out. Check it out. I'm gonna do it. Anyway, so yeah, even if they tell me those guys are traitors and they did this, I don't believe them anyway, because it's too suspicious already. These guys have no credibility, moreover than a regular person, because when you meet someone, you have to build credibility and trust. You don't take someone, oh, I don't know you, you're an honest person. No, you're nobody. You're not an honest person, you're not a liar. You're undetermined. Your actions will determine what you are. That's how it is with Ukraine, with Zelensky. As of now, Zelensky is way down there. Okay, so before he gets back to you're nobody and not up, no down, you have a lot of climbing. I don't think he wants to climb because the mass media climbed him that he's like the general of the generals. Don't you see how he's portrayed always? And he's a clown. Jesus Christ, he's an actor. I think every time he does that, he's like, another pictures for the idiots. Ready? 3, 2, 1, 0. All right, 3, 2, 1. Like Zoolander. Remember that movie, Zoolander, with another Zelensky in it? Ben Stiller. That's exactly like here. He's a Zoolander. That's what he is. That's a new name. Zoolander with a Z. What the hell? Look at his pictures. All right, enough with this bullshit. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.